in response to Billy's talking points memo from Wednesday, September 23rd, 23rd to 22nd, 23rd, 2015, the Pope, the President, and the downtrodden. Now, the Pope has clearly indicated some of the areas that he is interested in most in the United States. I believe that he is speaking in Washington today in front of the House and Senate, and after that he's going to have lunch with the homeless. He's going to be visiting a jail when he gets to Philadelphia, and I know he's doing something with, let's just say, the downtrodden in New York. I don't know exactly what that is. And in the Pope's opening remarks, he did make a reference to religious liberty. Billy quoted the entire paragraph on it and make it out that it was a smackdown to El Presidente. And I don't think it was a smackdown to the president at all. I think he very forcefully and very meekly indicated that we need to take care of everyone in this world, and that we have the capability in the United States of having laws that work with religious liberties. Now, at the same time, I would say that all of those people who are indicating that their religious liberties are being affected by the big bad government are those that are trying to promote their religious views on other people, or they are saying that their religious views trump those of other religions. So I don't think the Pope was doing that in any way, shape, or form. But of course, Billy has to make it a point. Of course, when you're appealing to elderly white men and women who are Pentecostal, that's what they want to hear. And he segues that. He segued a couple times. Really strange how he went around yesterday on that thing. Segued into that so that he went into Obamacare on that. Because Billy indicates very much that he does want to help the downtrodden, that it is something that is a noble thing to help others in need. But he questioned whether or not the government should be doing it. And of course, he goes right into Obamacare. He doesn't go into the fact that how many people, 8 million people directly got care through Obamacare, and another several million were able to get Medicaid through Obamacare. So, don't know what he was saying, but basically he was saying that the free market, can do it, because with Obamacare, it's affecting jobs. Now, I love it. There is a couple things that Billy says. One is no question, and the other one is well documented. So today was well documented one, where he says it is well documented that businesses have cut hours because of Obamacare. And that's not true at all. We have the statistics for years and years, before Obamacare and after Obamacare, and we don't see it. And we don't see that guy from Papa John's Pizza wrangling about how he's going to have to raise the price of pizza, or he's going to have to cut salaries, or he's going to have to cut employment. No, we're not hearing any of that. Businesses have adapted. You don't hear the healthcare industry complaining about Obamacare. It's only people like Billy, who really want to hurt people, because they got theirs and they think that everyone else can be just like them if they just worked hard. See? So how do you help the downtrodden? Now, Billy, again, no answer for that, just blames Obama and says Obamacare itself is not the one. The other thing the Pope talked about was, I think maybe he was quoting Obama this time in terms of living in dignity, and he brought up the whole abortion issue. And again, I would like Billy to be at the forefront of this, because he seems to be, it seems to be very dear to his heart. I would like to have him a detailed summary of exactly what his response to abortion should be. In terms of, number one, how can you help women who do not want to have their children deliver babies? How can you have them adopt? Because remember, when a woman gets pregnant, she has what? 3 options. She can abort, she can deliver, or she can adopt. Those are the, excuse me, I didn't say that quite rightly, but the options are adoption, abortion, or to keep the baby for yourself. Those are the only three options. What are Billy's other two options? How can he help those people, those women, in terms of adoption and having children? Can he offer prenatal care to all of them? Can he offer postnatal care to all of them? Can he offer WIC, women, infants, and children, for people who are suffering from hunger? Can they offer any of that? What is his plan for all of that? Because if you want people to have children, to have babies, then shouldn't you want them also to live in a world where they can have dignity? And of course, dignity to Billy is you pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Never mind that the minimum wage is only, what, $7.35 an hour or whatever, and no one can live off of that. But let me keep going. So Billy, again, he's all over the place on this. And then he goes into blaming Obama for everything in the Middle East because General Petraeus spoke on the Hill and had some comments about what's going on over in the Middle East. And again, there are, and I've said this, I've had many a good rant on the Middle East. The answers, and of course I don't know if Petraeus had any answers, but I've asked Billy to come up with a detailed plan, a detailed strategy with all of the tactics, his bullet point sessions of exactly how you're going to defeat ISIL. And remember, a war is not just a winning. The war is holding the geography. How are we going to hold the geography in Syria, in Iran, in Iraq? I believe, as I said, it's about half the size of Texas. And it's not a whole lot populated. And those cities and small towns could be overrun with just a couple dozen people, like ISIL has done. So how are you going to do this? He has no answer whatsoever. But again, he wants to blame Obama for everything. And the last thing Billy talked about, which I thought was a little bit funny, is that Obama made some statements at the end, and Billy even agreed with him that he thinks that we should all have a clean environment. But he believes we should use common sense to do it. Well, common sense is, I'm well aware of the amount of money that utilities have been pouring into their lawyers in D.C. To try and avert regulations in terms of cleaning things out when they are creating energy in terms of environmental smog control. How they have for 30, 40, 50 years relentlessly tried to keep any type of regulation down to its minimum and conceded ground only when they absolutely had to. And the common sense is they should be at the forefront, and they should be asking the Utility Regulatory Commission for them, etc., to help raise rates because they are going to clean up the environment. I'm not saying that from business standpoint. They go kicking and screaming into that type of thing. That's the way it has been forever. I remember when catalytic converters first came out, and I was working at a gas station at the time, and people tore out that little knob in there, and tore out their catalytic converter and put leaded gas in because they weren't going to be told what to do by the government. And here we are 35, 40 years later, whenever that catalytic converters came in, 76, 77, something like that. And, we don't have that thing, and all gas is unleaded now. And we had to transition, and it was the right thing to do, and it helped the environment. And not only were people doing that because they didn't want the government telling them what to do, it took industry, it took the government years to get industry to do something like that. So when Billy talks about he wants a clean environment, you have to have someone at the top making the decisions, and it has to be for the American people and not for necessarily the individual companies that are involved. Now, can you make a few concessions here and there? Of course you can. You have to find a way to work. But, we should be at the forefront of environmental control. We should be at the forefront of alternative energy. Where are your plans on that? And that will allow us all to live in dignity.